Charlie Johnson with Maverick Boat Group and Pathfinder Boats, and I work a whole lot of boat shows. And when I'm working at shows, invariably people come up to me and tell me how much they love their Pathfinder, and they've had their Pathfinder maybe 8, 10, even 15 years. They talk about how much they love it, and they'll never have another boat. That's a great thing because obviously we're happy that customers are happy with their boats. It shows that the boats last for a very long time. Also is a testament to why the boat's resale value is so high. But what I don't like about it is it only goes to tell me that we haven't done a good job showing how great the new boats truly are and how much better they are than the older Pathfinders. And that just comes from years of evolution, looking at boats, always wanting to get better. So if you'll spend a few minutes with me, I'd like to go through a new 22 TRS Pathfinder and show you exactly how the boats have come such a long ways. We'll start at the bow here in this 22 TRS. First off, note the size of the anchor locker. If you have a Pathfinder pre-2009, you had a very small anchor locker for it. Very difficult to fit enough rode and chain in there. It was pretty much just a hassle to use the anchor. This one, anchor locker, much bigger. Also has a nice friction hinges on it so the lid stays up when you want it to stay up. You don't have to worry about having a tether here or the old strap that went there that gets sort of nasty over time. Stays up, completely out of your way, folds over to the side, and look at the size of this big opening here. We have clips to hold the anchor in place so it doesn't dislodge and bounce around, and plenty of room to hold the rode and chain. If you're a Pathfinder owner, whether it's of a newer Pathfinder or an older Pathfinder, you certainly know how well our lockers do in terms of keeping things dry. It's very good dry storage. But on the newer boats, we've even taken the storage to another level, and it's a lot of things that people don't think about. Okay, first off, you've seen our lid video. We talk about the gas shock assisted lids and how it helps to open the lids, how there's backing plates in here that tie in all the brackets so you're not going to have screws or pull out or anything like that. We have the deep lid troughs. That's important to keeping those buckets dry. But at the same time, we changed this arrangement up here. Now this opening's a lot bigger. That means it's a lot easier to get your stuff in and out of. It's a lot easier to see what's in there, all right? In addition, on the rod lockers, see one's open here, it opens from back to front, okay? That's a very important thing. Not only is it make this opening a lot easier to get stuff in and out of, especially if you have rods that you're putting in the boat, but in addition, it makes it so that you can actually get in here from outside the boat when the boat's on the trailer. The way the other lids open up, they open like this. You couldn't get around them to get anything in that storage box, so you really couldn't load this section of the boat when it's on a trailer. Another nice thing we've done, and I'm gonna close this one really fast. Show you a better view over here. We've taken these and we've opened these up a whole lot. It used to be that we had these just designated for rod storage. They still work great for rod storage. We have rod racks in here that you can fold out, lock and load, store those rods. We have lockable latches here so that you can keep them secure. But when you don't have rods in there, you can fold these back and you can use this full bucket. So it allows you much more storage room than before. Before, they stopped about here, just basically designated for rods, and you couldn't use that storage space. Now you have the whole thing, but you still have that great rod storage. Now moving back to the console, this is a massive enhancement we've made. We made it across the whole Pathfinder lineup for the 2018 model year. It's this brand new console, and there are all kinds of benefits to this console. If you have an older Pathfinder with the old style console with the integrated rod racks, you know that getting into the batteries could be difficult. There wasn't a whole lot of access. Even if you had one of the newer consoles that flip down in the front, we made a bigger opening there, but it's not even close to this. Check this out. The door opens all the way. It has those friction hinges so it stays nice and open. And when I want to work on something, all I have to do is get in here like this, and I can work right on the back of my switch panel. Super easy. You can see how everything is really nicely laid out. Another thing that's really nice is the wiring harnesses. All of them are labeled, so at either end, you can tell exactly what that wire goes to. All right? Now, if I wanted to even get in here further, what I could do is just simply remove this. I open this door up top. I open this bottom door. And look how easy it is to get into those batteries. No more having to be a contortionist artist, taking a 40-pound battery, trying to slip it in a tight little hole. It's drop in, hook up, and you're on your way. So moving back to the back side of the console, there's a lot to talk about. First off, we've kept the collapsible grab rail and windshield, so we've kept it for garageability standpoint. I think the oldest Pathfinders didn't have that. The newer Pathfinders do for sure. Also, if you look at this console, one thing that should stick out to you is cup holders. People have always told us we didn't have enough cup holders on the boat. Here they are, right here on the console. Also, another thing is, people talked about how our steering wheels were all in the middle. It was great because you sort of have a race car feel to it, but at the same time it tied up the whole leaning post because people had to sit on either side of you. We've moved the steering wheel over to the port side. So now you have somebody who can sit right on the port side and drive the boat. You have plenty of room for people over here on the starboard side. Also, if you look at this panel, just how nicely laid out, it's very, very aesthetically pleasing as well as ergonomically pleasing. Everything is within easy reach. We have a big open panel up here. We have the new Yamaha CY6 gauge there. That's a multi-function gauge. It also has fuel management in it, so it's an all-in-one gauge, different than what the older Pathfinders would have had with the two gauges there. Trim tabs still right next to the throttle where they're easy to reach. Just a really, really nice console. Another thing you can do with this is you can color match it to the side of the hull, or you can make it whatever color you want. It's a drop-in piece here, so you can really customize it out and make it look really, really sharp. Another great thing, there's never enough places to put your pocket contents, wallets, cell phones, keys, that kind of stuff. That was a problem on some of the older Pathfinders. You look at this, have a great big area right under here to put that stuff. Also under here, you have your battery switches, also in your breakers. Really easy to get to. We have independent battery switches for the cranking battery, that is the house battery, and then also for the trolling motor battery. So much easier to access. Another really great thing about this console is you can see how it's raised up off the floor, and that gives you a number of benefits. First off, it allows you what's called a toe kick under the console itself, so you can actually slide your feet in, you can sort of lock in, you can lean back up against the leaning post. Super, super comfortable. We also have that footrest built in there. All these pieces are fiberglass, no more starboard. You have all your feet in there. It allows you to basically sit completely up on the seats to have a nice, comfortable place for your feet. But in bringing that console up like this, it also frees up a ton of space. This boat is still the same beam it's always been. It's 8.6. But if you compare this new Pathfinder to one of the older 22s, you'll notice this boat has a lot more room in it. And it has a lot more room than just about any bay boat there is out there in the same foot length. And that's because we have the console up off the ground, frees up this space underneath it. Also, what we've done is we've removed these gunnel walls. So it allows you access under here, basically allows you to have rod storage under there. Before, there was no place to really put fly rods. You had to put them in the console rod racks or break them down and put them in forward storage compartments. This way you can keep them fully rigged right up under here. Also really nice for long spinning rods, that kind of thing, rods over 7 feet. And they're always accessible. They're at the ready, which is really, really nice. But also, like I was talking about, it frees this up a whole bunch. The boat feels a lot bigger than it truly is at 8.6. So we've maintained the same traditional leaning post. We have made enhancements to it. One thing we've always done, which is just an excellent idea, people absolutely love, is having this nice storage bucket under here. Once again, you can put everything under here. You keep tackle under here, sunscreen, all kinds of stuff. Mine gets full every time I use the boat. You latch that down like that. You have this nice shroud back here. Once again, more cup holders, more rod holders, and you have this nice removable backrest. The old Pathfinders, prior to 2009, had a 20-inch transom. So what that did is meant that we had to put the drain back up on this sidewall here, okay? That was to get it high enough above the water line so you would have a positive flow down, okay? You'd have enough head pressure for that water, any water that collected in the cockpit, to go out and keep water outside. That worked pretty well. If you got a lot of people back here, you had a bigger engine on it, you would get water in the back end. Since 2009, we've raised that transom height, allowed us to raise the gunnels of the boat so it's even taller than it used to be, about 1.5 inches, I'd say, so your freeboard's higher. But in addition to that, it has allowed us to pull that floor up as well and put the drain down here in the bottom. That makes a huge difference. First off, all the water gets evacuated because you have a drain at the lowest part of the boat. Also, because it's higher, you have more positive head pressure going down. It keeps that water draining much better than it used to. And in addition, it keeps that water from coming back up from outside, so you don't have any inflow issues at all. The boats still have check valves and all that kind of stuff to make sure of that, but nonetheless, this drain system is a far superior drain system than the older 2009 and prior Pathfinders. Once again, we also added those boats flip up back rests here and seats, super comfy spot. Before that was just a matter of sitting on the deck, but what I really like about this a whole lot is this added storage space. Previously, this was pretty much dead area in here. It wasn't used for anything. Sometimes the buckets would come up to this area, but not completely, so you really couldn't use this area for storage. So now we've opened it up. It's great storage in here. There's tons and tons of storage on this boat. We drop that, flattens out. You can still use this full back deck as a fishing platform. Nothing is in your way, no obstructions. This is a great big one here. Look how accessible the pumps are and everything is back here. Easy to get to. On the older Pathfinders, all the access was through here. Everything was down in the center line on the bottom. Took a really long reach to get into anything at all. It's very, very tight compartments, small opening to get into. We've completely alleviated all that by putting everything in this rig box right here. You have this big lid that opens up. It has those friction hinges on it once again, so it stays up out of the way. You don't have any tether that gets in your way when you're trying to get in the box, and everything is perfectly accessible. Also note how everything is tied up. It's very neat. It's very easy to understand exactly what's going on in here, and that makes a huge difference for maintenance. That's a big, big, big plus of the newer Pathfinders. Another really nice new enhancement are the built-in swim platforms, and they come standard. That's a fiberglass piece. See how it's matched up with the rub rail, tied in through metal plates here into the transom. Has an extendable ladder here. Comes right out. Super easy to get in and out of the boat. On the older 22 Pathfinders, this had to be an aftermarket piece or a bolt-on piece, and then you had to work around the trim tabs, which the trim tabs actually came off of the transom there. If you notice on these, we'll look at the other side as well, but if you notice, the trim tabs are recessed in the transom, so they're completely out of your way. So when you're getting on the boat, you're not risking cutting your foot on a trim tab or anything like that. In addition, when you're fighting a fish, you're not worried about the fish coming really close to this backyard, clipping the tab. It's not going to happen because the tabs are completely recessed up under the boat. Very, very clean, and also very functional. So I've talked about a number of the major design enhancements on the newer Pathfinders, and it's just been a few that we've discussed here in this video. There are a whole lot more. Check out our other videos, our wiring harness video, our lid video, also our live well video, and you'll see all the enhancements we've made to make these new Pathfinders better than they've ever been before in every aspect.